Welcome to episode 2 of the Kantan Gamer Cast. On this week's show, Sony's Japan studio closes after 28 years. Legendary composer Nobuo Uematsu might have scored his last full game, and Gen 2 Pokemon have been spotted across Japan. All that and more coming up. So, welcome back, Ryan. It's episode 2. How you doing, man?
Doing great. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. It was a fun episode last week. First episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was nice catching up.
Yeah. But yeah, we kind of got through all the formalities for the first episode, so we can just dive straight into the fun stuff this time. So what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Nier Automata or Automata.
Okay.
Another hard one to pronounce, but
Yeah. So yeah, I heard some people say like automata. But
Automata is what I
think
like.
it's automata,
but, yeah, but it's really good, man. I've been I was kind of shocked when I started it up, and it just merges all these different gameplay styles. Kind of old school influence of like shooters, like the spaceship shooters. What do you call those? You know, kind of side scrolling.
Yeah.
Like bullet hell. You know, so it sort of mixes that with like a modern JRPG, action JRPG type stuff, and it sort of fluidly goes between the different styles. So yeah, I really like it.
Nice. Is that on a Game Pass, right?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, and yeah, I'd heard it was really highly praised, and some people were saying it was like the best RPG of the last 10 years or something.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's definitely really high level, platinum games.
Nice.
So I'm just, maybe 4 or 5 hours into it, but how about you? What have you been playing this week?
Yeah, so I've mainly been doing God of War 4, or just it's just called God of War, but it's the 4th one in the series. But we've been playing it on PlayStation 5, obviously. But it recently had an updated patch to allow it to run at 60 FPS at like checkerboard 4K. So it's pretty much at 4K. It just looks so good, but it's way like it's just way better when you play it on 60 FPS. Because I downloaded it when I first got the PS5, and they had the PS Plus collection, and it's a game I always wanted to check out. So I thought, that's free. That's going to be good. But yeah, 30 FPS, and it was a bit, I don't know, it was a locked frame rate, but it wasn't smooth enough for that kind of game, right? Just like hack and slash, like action-based stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got a PC last year, and so I've recently been playing everything at least 60, but usually closer to 100. And
that's it, yeah.
and like, there's no going back once you get used to the smooth, gameplay.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? I mean, I've tried like 140 for 144 FPS or 120, and you can go back down to 60. That's not too bad, but like 60 back to 30 is, it's too much, man.
Yeah, I had a buddy who he'd never played a high refresh before, and he said like 60 is great. Like, why would I need 144? And I said, well, actually, we were playing a game. I said, this is 144. He said, oh, well, I can't tell the difference. And then I said, let me drop it back down to 60. And we dropped the frame rate down, and then he was like, oh my God, this is totally different. So it's like one of those things where once you get used to it, it's really hard to go back, I think. But
what game were you playing out of interest?
It was the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster.
Okay.
That kind of came out last
games
summer.
With a lot of action, right? Especially at Tony Hawk, you got like time the buttons and stuff.
Yeah,
so I feel like
anything in motion, like the motion is what I notice the most.
Interesting.
Because it's just kind of like seems a little more blurry, like the things that are moving to me. But I mean, 60 is great too. So I mean, nothing wrong with 60, but
yeah. Cool. Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, anyway.
What else did I play this week? I played God of War, and I also played a little bit of Mother 3, which is Earthbound, right? Which is a game that has been notoriously difficult to get hold of, or it's never been released in the West. And it's one of those games that just everybody wants a port of.
I
But
see.
and that's why I never really got around to playing it. But then I thought, well, it's in Japanese, so now I can play it. So I started playing it just on a little emulator on my phone, and it's pretty good. It's just most of the text. There's no like kanji in it, very few kanji, so it's one of those like all hiragana kind of games. So the text gets a bit tiresome quite quickly.
Oh yeah,
But it's fun. Yeah, it's very quirky, and most of what I
yeah.
know about that series is from Smash Bros. So
Oh,
so far
okay, I
it's
see. Yeah, like kind of a cult classic. I have them on my phone right now. Actually, the just Earthbound, the first one, and the second one on a Super Nintendo emulator. But
nice.
I kind of got started with it, but then I don't really like gaming on my phone that much, so I usually don't make it that far
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, that's something I need to do. Go back and play through the whole series. It's definitely on my list.
Yeah, it's good so far. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that one. But yeah, that's what we've been playing this week. So why don't we jump into the news? So our main story of the week is the closure of Japan Studios, Sony's biggest first-party studio. I think it was the first as well that kind of opened alongside the launch of the original PlayStation. It's been open for 28 years. So I don't know, a bit of a crazy kind of an announcement when they made it. I think they actually announced this back in February. They said they were going to do it. But yeah, it's kind of happened now. Any initial reactions to that, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that when a studio closes down, especially a studio like this, I grew up with the Ape Escape games. I don't know if you ever played those.
Oh yeah, of course.
In Japan, it's called Sarugetsu, and Saru is the monkey, right? And Getchu is like get them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like really popular in the early 2000s, like the monkeys with like the lights on their head and stuff. But I love that series, and I believe they worked on it's called Ico.
Yeah, Ico. I think Ico. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I always said it as Ico.
Yeah, I thought it was Ico, but it might be Eco, like, because it sounds like Eco, like good boy or something.
Oh yeah, Eco. Yeah, could be. Yeah,
I think maybe it's a wordplay. I'm not sure, but I have it here for PS2 actually in my retro game rack.
Nice. In your stash.
Yeah, that's one of them I picked up as soon as I got to Japan because I wanted to try it in Japanese.
Yeah.
Of course,
cool.
my level's so low I couldn't make it very far.
So I was just gonna read the statement here from Sony, the direct from Sony statement, just so we get the full clear message from the company themselves. They say, in an effort to further strengthen business operations, Sony Interactive Entertainment can confirm PlayStation Studios Japan Studio will be reorganized into a new organization on April 1st. Japan Studio will be recentered to Team Asobi, the creative team behind Astro's Playroom, allowing the team to focus on a single vision and build on the popularity of Astro's Playroom. In addition, the roles of external production, software localization, and IP management of Japan Studio titles will be concentrated within the global functions of PlayStation Studios. So, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, the Team Asobi games, Astro's Playroom, the most recent one being the kind of demo that came with the PS5. But I kind of forget the name, but they also did like another platform game with Astro, and they did a VR game as well, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've played any of their games, except I briefly tried Astro's Playroom, I think at your place, actually.
Yeah, true.
I was impressed with it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's very polished, like the gameplay was really tight, and I thought, yeah, it was a really cool game. It just seems like a weird decision for them to close down, or not. I guess not really close down, right? They're restructuring and very like streamlining the studio. into one singular focus of just that franchise. But a large portion of the staff have been let go from the studio as well, which is obviously quite unfortunate.
That's too bad. Yeah, I'm curious to know like how much of the team is carrying over to Asobi and how many people left. And I think it's a little bit unclear whether they were let go or if they willingly, chose to move on.
Yeah, well, I think originally the initial batch of people would have just been let go, but there's actually been a lot of people coming out on Twitter, employees, like developers and directors and stuff, saying that they're now leaving or they're kind of moving on to different things and all this kind of stuff. So following on from the initial announcement by Sony, leading up to this week of the actual, the deadline date, there have been a lot of people, saying things like that. So
I see. Were you pretty familiar with the team? What is it called? Japan Studios games?
Some of them. I mean, I think similar to you, right? Like we mostly grew up with Nintendo stuff. I think like the PlayStation ones I'm kind of familiar with. Well, like the PS1, like Ape Escape. Yeah, so actually I didn't realize that they made or co-developed or published so many different games. So this is actually on Sony's website, the PlayStation website, going from 1994. And yeah, there's like hundreds of games almost going through all these. But yeah, most of these actually I don't recognize from this era. I think probably like PS2 era, I might become a bit more familiar. But I don't know. How about yourself?
I've heard of Wild Arms, and there's a game called Parappa the Rapper.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
It's like a pretty famous music game. Looks like they did the Ghost in the Shell. I don't know. It's an old one.
Oh yeah, that'll be the of the manga or maybe of the anime as well.
I mean, it looks like there's hundreds of games here.
There's tons, yeah. So I imagine like in the same way that like Nintendo publishes a lot of games, but they don't necessarily make them. I would imagine that this might be what they're talking about. I just spotted one here from 2002, Dark Cloud. That was a great game. That was on PS2.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was a really good RPG. But yeah, let's move more to the recent years. So like 2010 to 2014. Freedom Wars. Don't know, this was Destiny of Spirits Asia. Knack. That was one of the launch games for PS4. I don't know. There's so many random games. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of them are not like specifically like Sony or even like big games. Tokyo Jungle. I remember that one actually.
Bloodborne is a huge one, right?
Bloodborne, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. That's probably one of my favorite games of all time. That was incredible.
So I hope that Asobi is going to be, continuing to make a wide variety of games and not just like solely Astro. Because I imagine they're going to not reboot. They're going to make another Astro game, right? I mean, it comes packed in, right?
And it was really good. I mean, I didn't see anyone online that had anything bad to say about the game, really. I think maybe because it's free, obviously people are much less inclined to complain about it.
How long was the game? I'm just curious.
Yeah, like maybe 8 hours maybe, which was pretty decent. It's kind of like what I said about Bowser's Fury last week, is that it was like just a really solid like 8 to 10 hour platform adventure, and that's also including like if you get like you find all the collectibles and stuff.
I see.
So yeah, I just kind of like I usually do with platform games. I just went through every level once just to enjoy it, and then I went back through and got all the collectibles again. So it wasn't very long, but
it really showcases the controller, right? The dual sense.
For sure, yeah. The adaptive triggers is the main part, right? But you've got the motion sense stuff. You've got the kind of the rumble, the haptic feedback on the Rumble. So I think it had a lot of really interesting ideas. But that's really actually the only game so far that I've seen that really incorporated the controller features well. So
I see.
I hope other developers can kind of use it a bit more in the future.
I'm interested in getting one just to use with the PC, actually. Especially if people can find a way to integrate the triggers, with PC, that would be great,
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I found, just before we finish up this story, I found quite a funny video. It's called a tribute to Sony Japan Studio by Hikiko. And I guess it's a Japanese guy. He made a little tribute to all these games from Japan Studio. But the intro is the CEO of PlayStation, or Sony Interactive Entertainment, CEO Jim Ryan. And he speaks very, very questionable Japanese. So I thought we should play this and have a good laugh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's check it out.
All right, here we go.
Welcome, minasan yokoso. Sony Interactive Entertainment no Jim Ryan desu. PlayStation wa korekara mo sekai de ichiban no game o tsukurimasu.
That's a stretch.
Motomoto omoshiroi desu. Doki doki shimasu. Isho no tanoshimimashou.
Oh yeah, I enjoy that. I mean, the whole video is just like a little montage of games and clips.
I like the doki doki shimasu.
Doki doki shimasu, yeah. It says sekai de ichiban game o tsukurimasu.
Yeah, it must be tough being the CEO of Sony and not speaking Japanese.
Well, that's kind of I generally don't like to laugh at people, like from learning Japanese, but I just thought it was funny that like this guy, he's like the head of like one of the biggest companies in Japan, and and his Japanese is that bad. I mean, I don't even think he would be able to say that without the script. That's what I mean. Is like because he's obviously reading it, but
I know there was like a controversy about him, changing not him, but Sony changing the controls. And I saw some Japanese guys on YouTube saying why is this guy the CEO of Sony? You know what I mean? So I don't think they're so thrilled about him over here.
True. I don't know if that's his decision though, but that was an interesting kind of bit of news when it came out. I think a lot of Western people didn't actually realize, because I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, what's the big deal? What's the problem?" But a lot of people don't realize that like circle is like okay in Japanese, right? And X, like batsu, is bad. For Westerners, it was just like, oh, okay, X is okay and circle's back. It had no meaning to us, right? Because we usually use like tick or I don't know, like a back arrow or so. I don't know, like we don't use those symbols for what we think that what Japanese people do.
Yeah.
But, kind of. I don't know. I guess it did kind of annoy me when I heard people saying like, what's the problem? But at the same time, like people don't know, right? It's not like intuitive. So there is no reason why you would know that.
I mean, I usually play Nintendo stuff and like A is select and B is back, right? I think that's universal on Nintendo stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got used to that as well, but...
So whenever I switch over to something where I have to press, the bottom of the 4 buttons to accept, I always get really confused. So
yeah,
I kind of wanted them to stick with circle to select. I always liked that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think because probably when I was in like my heaviest like gaming period of my life was like the end of my teenage years to like when I was in university, and I just gamed like all the fucking time. And I mostly played Xbox 360, but the bottom button is A, right? So I got it really into my head that the bottom button is okay. Even though I played a lot of Nintendo and like the A button is on the right side, right? But I don't know. It's not really important, is it? Like, I mean, you kind of rewire so quickly, once you actually start to use it.
I mean, they should have an option in the system settings where you can choose like which button you want to select. I mean, it's such such a like easy thing to do, and it would make it's so much more accessible for everyone.
I know what you mean, of course. Welcome. Let's just have a little bit of Jim Ryan just before we wrap the story up.
Oh yeah,
Sony
yeah.
Interactive Entertainment no Jim Ryan desu.
Jim Ryan
PlayStation wa
desu.
これからも世界で一番のゲームを作ります。もともと面白いです。
Was that
ドキドキします。
tsukurimasu that he
も
said?
とも
or-
と面白いです。Yeah, 作ります。
一生の楽しみ
But the
ましょう。
thing is, actually, let me find it. The subtitle makes it sound so much elegant. Thank you very much. Rest assured, PlayStation will continue to deliver the best games experience. That's not what he just said.
Yeah.
PlayStation はこれからも世界で
So これからも, so from now
一
on,
番のゲームを作ります。
we will make the best games in the world. That's literally what he just said. So in the English, they try to finesse it out a little bit. Because I feel like if he spoke English, like that's the subtitle is exactly what he would say. So shall we move on to our next story?
Yeah,
of the
sure.
week, right? Yeah. So this is regarding Nobuo Uematsu, who is one of the main composers for the Final Fantasy series. Legendary status by this point. But he recently scored the new game Fantasian, which is made by the original director of Final Fantasy. But it's a mobile game and it's exclusively on Apple Arcade.
I see.
Yeah, I fortunately don't own any Apple devices, so I haven't been able to check this out yet.
Yeah, me too.
But you've seen the game though, right? Have you seen it in action?
I don't think so. Well, actually, maybe I saw a trailer. Is this the one where it's kind of like a camera like close to some kind of like real life set piece?
Yeah, so basically they made these like dioramas, which you can see in the video here, right? And they're so cool, like so detailed. And then they just like 3D scan them in. And then, all the characters are obviously 3D models, but the environments are just, like super high res 3D scans of real models, which gives it this
great.
really cool effect, yeah. So it's got like, I mean, it does look a lot like the original like PlayStation Final Fantasies, like 7, 8, 9, with those fixed perspectives.
Yeah, that is cool.
But-
It's like a photorealistic background with the 3D models on top.
So
yeah,
really,
Final Fantasy VII had that kind of thing going, but
Yeah.
it looks like the camera kind of pivots around though.
well, that's
so
it, because they scanned in the environment, so they can bend them at will.
Yeah, the fixed perspective thing kind of has a retro flavor to it, doesn't it?
Mm.
It's
But
it's nice.
with the camera being able to like swing around quickly, I think that's really cool. Because like I believe like the older games like Final Fantasy or even like Resident Evil or something like that, each scene was just like hand painted or hand drawn, and then that's the fixed perspective. Because obviously at that time they couldn't render the model at that quality in 3D, right?
Yeah.
But I believe with this is like, because the model is such high quality, they can just like choose any angle they want, and then they instantly have like a high res image for it. So I imagine, it probably saved a lot of time in development as well as just looking cool.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, I hope there are more games in this style because it looks good. And I mean, it's just unfortunate. I'm probably not going to be able to play it until it leaves Apple Arcade, if it does, you know?
Yeah, I think it will eventually, but I'll definitely like to check it out. So just back to the original news of Nobuo Uematsu's, rumored kind of winding up of such a heavy role. Here's a quote we've got from the game's director, Hironobu Sakaguchi, where he said, before we approached him to work on Fantasian, he was going through some health issues, and there were concerns if he was going to be able to compose everything or if it was even possible for him to work on this. I think he kind of hinted that Fantasian is maybe the last game that he does from end to end in terms of scoring an entire soundtrack. So, yeah, that's a quote from the director of Fantasian. So it's all speculation, but Uematsu-san is not young anymore.
Yeah,
by any stretch, right?
And he's probably like the most famous game composer, right? Or other than maybe Koji Kondo from
I would say
Nintendo.
only Koji Kondo runs parallel to him, I would say.
Yeah,
so he's 62 years old now, which is not old for a composer, I don't think, you know.
I see.
You know, because that kind of profession, you know, and you know, we're both musicians, so I'm sure we both understand this the same way. But that kind of job, it's not physically draining, right? So it's less affected by old age, I think.
Yeah. Well, the Dragon Quest composer is like almost 100 years old or something, I think.
Oh, is it? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He's I think he's the oldest guy in gaming. Maybe.
I think he's like 90. Yeah, he's 90 something. It's weird you mentioned that because I saw an article about that today or something. I can't remember, but I saw him mentioned somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he is, but I think he's in his 90s.
I don't know. I forgot his name. Yeah, Dragon Quest composer. Let's find out.
But yeah,
Koichi Sugiyama.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Born in 1931. Wow. So he's 90 years old.
Oh, okay. He's not 100.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's not far off though. Yeah.
It's kind of a related story, but I actually went to see the Tokyo Symphony play the Dragon Quest XI soundtrack. Just like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. I mean, he wasn't there, but it was his, you know, his music.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And yeah, it's cool to see game music, you know, represented with, you know, in the orchestra.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but
I saw Symphony of the Goddess, the Zelda one.
Oh man, that must have been great.
4 years ago. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was pretty epic. Yeah, I saw that back in the UK, but yeah, it was really cool, man. But actually, I just because you know, we both haven't played this game yet, but as always, the soundtrack for the game is already on YouTube, like it always is.
Oh, really?
So I thought, yeah, we just play some little clips here. I thought this is pretty badass. It just super, like, it sounds like Uematsu so much. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, this bit. So it's got a very kind of like one-winged angel kind of vibes, right?
Yeah.
Sephiroth. This part, right? But it sounds awesome, man. So, I mean, the soundtrack, it's actually 6 hours long.
Oh,
it's crazy, right? Because in the interview, or the article I read originally, it did say that he scored 60 tracks.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, 6 hours, that's like 10 hours or 10 minutes per track? Or 6 minutes per track, sorry. That's a lot of music, man.
Yeah.
Like, you think how much effort goes into like scoring, like, well, not scoring, but if you write like a 1 hour album, right? And it's probably nowhere near as detailed as like this guy's music.
Yeah, and it's not just like one instrumentation, like, you know, like a rock band has like bass, drums, guitar.
Yeah.
It's like every track has totally different instruments and, you know, different type of style and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
crazy,
imagine
man.
like these game composers probably just like live in their studio and just constantly like just, you know, exploring their soundscape.
It boggles the mind, really, doesn't it? How much effort it would go into doing something like this. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of listen to this soundtrack this week. Maybe I'll listen to it while I'm playing a different game, just to make it more epic.
Yeah, you know, another game that's kind of it just recently came to Game Pass is the Octopath Traveler. And
good point.
And its soundtrack is also kind of similar. It's very heavily inspired by Uematsu, and I've been actually playing that as well. And
nice.
Just kind of reminds me of his style, you know. Kind of, and I believe the composer for Octopath Traveler is a really young guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but I remember when that game first came out, yeah, I was really into the soundtrack, and I actually like kind of transcribed a few of the songs on guitar, and they're really kind of like neoclassical, but they got a kind of metal vibe to them. So I was really into that stuff. But
Yeah.
I thought, pretty impressed.
So maybe he's, carrying the torch. Like, there's still great music out there,
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, there's so much good stuff to listen to that it's impossible that, like, someone else wouldn't come along who has, like, absorbed everything from all these great, like, masters of the craft,
Yeah.
become the next generation.
I just want a streaming platform where I can have all the different games listed and, all the soundtracks or some kind of library subscription service or something.
Oh, yeah, man. If it
just
was like Spotify, but it was just game soundtracks, I'd pay for
that would be amazing. Because on YouTube, like, they're always getting taken down, and you get like a lot of covers and things, and it would just be nice to have it all in one place,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I do download quite a lot of game soundtracks. I tend to listen to them. I don't know, just kind of at any time when I'm like doing something else, if I'm studying or if I'm just making dinner or I don't know, whenever. So much variety.
It makes your commute to work really epic, right?
Yeah. So nothing confirmed officially about Uematsu-san. It's all speculation. But there were some kind of, rumorings about his health condition a couple of years ago, I think, and that's kind of resurfaced recently. But from what we're aware, it's nothing super serious. And obviously we wish him all the best of health because he is an absolute genius. And it's a sad day when he stops producing music. So yeah, hopefully this is not his last game.
Yeah, I hope not.
Okay, so let's move into our final big bit of news this week, which is the announcement of Generation 2 Pokemon Manhole covers coming to Japan.
Yeah.
So, Pokemon Manhole covers, probably not a phrase that you're used to hearing that often. But a couple of years ago, a whole bunch of Manhole covers were released in Japan and have already been installed. So for anyone that doesn't know, in Japan, it's quite common to have designed manhole covers, whether it's like, I don't know, if you go to like Yamanashi Prefecture, for example, it might be like a picture of like Mount Fuji, or if you go to like Kanagawa, it might be like a picture of like some local fish that they catch there, or something like that. They all have these specific designs. But the local prefectural governments have been teaming up with the Pokemon Company to produce these, special limited edition manhole covers, and they're pretty badass.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at these. I'm surprised how many Pokemon are supported already. It's really a lot.
So if you go onto this website, it's a Pokemon or PokeLids, but I think it's local.pokemon.jp. They have a little map of Japan broken into the main regions. So I think if we first go on to Kanto and Kanagawa, I believe this was the first one that was installed in Yokohama City. Yeah, I don't know what it's really supposed to be depicting, but it's just a picture of two Pikachu kind of talking or being friends, or I'm not really sure. Yeah, one's holding a flower, and I don't know why they did it this way, but most of them seem to be over here in Hokkaido, Tohoku, in the north of Japan.
I see.
But here, if you click on each region, then it's all broken into a prefecture. So,
yeah, I guess you could go on a big journey, across all of Japan, catch them all. Although you'd just be looking at manhole covers the whole time, so I...
That's it, yeah. I mean, if you can maybe buy a replica one, if there's like a little shop next to each one that sells like, like a keychain or something, and it's like a replica, something that could be quite good.
It would make a fun trip to like try to catch as many of these as you could,
Yeah.
Just for the sake of going,
I think do like a road trip and just trying to catch up, and just kind of catch them all. But actually, I just realized I might have been mistaken at the start of the video. I said that they were all Gen 1 Pokemon, but that is an absolute lie, because a lot of these are kind of spread out across many gens. I'm seeing like Vulpix, Ninetales here, I think like Chansey and stuff. But here one they've got like Chansey like 9 times. And there's loads of other ones like I forgot what this one's called, but it's weird like little Kamaishi in Japanese, but I don't know what he's called. Oh, sorry, Kokodora, that's his name, or Kamaishi. Maybe Kamaishi is the town. Sorry, and Kokodora is the name of the Pokemon.
I get all the names mixed up with Pokemon because like the Japanese names are different than the English names, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many Pokemon, they all have different names. It's hard to talk about Pokemon, especially with like a Japanese person, you know?
Yeah, some are the same, but yeah, a lot of them are quite different, so it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, sometimes the Japanese names are kind of funny. They're like English puns, you know?
Yeah, a lot of them are, right? But yeah, the only ones I know, like Fushigi Dane, is Bulbasaur. But in Japanese, that means like mysterious seed, which is quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
But like in English, right, bulb is like, you know, the bulb of a plant, and then saur is like, he's like a dinosaur kind of creature. So I think in both languages, they follow that format. And I forget all the other ones, but I've actually like talked to people before who are like Spanish or French or whatever. And in most like big languages in the world, the names are translated accordingly. So they all have like puns in their own languages, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. So you can get the same sense of like, you know, how it's supposed to be in Japanese, where like just the name alone of the Pokemon is enough to kind of make you a chuckle or whatever.
Yeah, exactly right.
I like when games do that as well, you know, when the localization team like makes a special effort to give places like a quirky name, you know.
I know what you mean, yeah. I think Animal Crossing is quite good for that. Because when you catch all the bugs and the fish in Animal Crossing, you get all these like stupid jokes. And
yeah.
You know, growing up, I used to play the GameCube version on, you know, in English, right? But then recently been playing the Japanese version of the New Horizon.
Yeah.
And yeah, the jokes are pretty funny. Sometimes they're quite hard to understand, but you know, it kind of makes you kind of look into it a little bit more, which is pretty cool. I just noticed Kagoshima here, which is one of the southern prefectures of Japan, down in Kyushu.
And it's all Slowpoke, right? Or
no, Eevees, these are in Kagoshima.
Oh, okay.
So they've got Eevee, but they've got, if I can remember all the name of these, they've got Jolteon, I think it's called. I might be wrong. Sorry if there's any mad Pokemon fans in the comments. Flareon, Vaporeon, Sylveon, I think that one's called. Vesporeon. Oh, maybe that's Vesporeon. I can't remember.
That's still pretty good that you remember most of
it. Well, I played like the first 3 gens of Pokemon, and I kind of fell out of it as I got older. But yeah, I still got those memories stay there strong. But anyway, yeah. So those are the existing Pokemon lids, right? But yeah, they've announced a bunch of new ones, which looks super cool. So yeah, these are going to be in Gion and Arashiyama in Kyoto. Actually, I forgot about this. They're called Pokefuta. So futa meaning lid in Japanese. So Pokemon lids.
Poke lids.
But a lot of these they got Sakura styles, you know, Sakura theme. They've got one here of a Ho, which is like the legendary, got a golden firebird from Pokemon Gold, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see in the picture he's like flying over. There's like a pagoda in the background. And then I think the mountain in the background, that might be Arashiyama from Kyoto.
Ah, I see. Yeah, because the backgrounds are all taken from like the locations where the manhole covers are, right?
But yeah, this photo here, there's a picture of a Pikachu, and he's next to the Ho Poke lid. And in the background, actually, you can see there's like some Sakura trees here, but there's this fence, and there's actually a bridge here. That's the bridge that goes over the river in Arashiyama.
Oh, I see.
I forgot the names of the sides, but the north and the south side of the town have different names, and the bridge kind of divides it. But then not far from there is the Arashiyama mountain, and they also have like a really famous monkey park there. So you kind of walk up to the top, and there's all these like wild monkeys that run around and stuff. And yeah, I went there like 4 years ago, maybe. It's pretty nice place. So it's a cool cool spot to have some of these Poke lids installed. And I guarantee that when tourists come back, there's going to be like crowds. There's going to be queues to take pictures with these things, I think.
Yeah, I see in a related article they've got some goods you can buy. Like there's coffee mugs and like what's it called? Coffee. You put your drink on it. I forgot what it's called.
A coaster.
A coaster. Yeah, I'm losing my English, man. And
I mean that round shape is perfect, right? I'd buy some of those. They'd be pretty badass.
Yeah. I'd get a whole collection of them. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got keychains as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love the little collectible stuff in Japan. Although I don't really buy very much, actually.
Yeah.
But I like looking at it all. There's always these little knickknacks and things, you know.
I know what you mean. Yeah. All right, cool. So, why don't we move on to new releases for the week? We've already talked about Fantasian, which looks great. Can't wait to play it. There is also another Apple Arcade game, Taiko no Tatsujin Pop Tap Beat. Have you seen this one?
I know the arcade versions of this game, you know, with the big drum.
Yeah. So this is a great game.
Oh, you got
Probably
a trailer here, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite like Japanese games, and I've got it on Switch actually. So yeah, big fan of this. But it looks quite similar to the Switch version that I've already played. And you can imagine you just touch the screen to beat the drum, right? So it seems like quite an easy one to play. I did play. Actually, let's skip this a little bit forward here.
Oh, this is like a Let's Play video.
Yeah, it's just like introduction how to play. But yeah, I could imagine blasting out some of these beats on the train, you know.
You're gonna look kind of like a crazy man, right?
Yeah.
So
that's no better than these. You see these like women with like fucking iPad Pro playing Pokemon Go, man. It's just like.
Oh yeah. So you like tap your screen then?
I guess so.
I guess with your fingers. Oh, that's funny.
So in the original game, like the red dots are like the skin of the drum, and the blue ones are the rim. So obviously with the sticks, right, you hit the skin or the rim. But I guess on this, I think it's just like it was on the Switch. I played it like handheld mode once with like touch controls, and you basically just touch the middle of the drum at the bottom for red, and then you just touch outside the drum for blue.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I can't imagine it'd be too difficult to kind of get used to.
Is this exclusive for Apple Arcade?
I believe so, yeah. Because I think they launched the service this week, or like they just dropped like a ton of games for it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's launched. But yeah, I thought this looks pretty cool. Yeah, so next up we've got this game is called Fu Raiki, I think it's called. So Fu meaning like rain and wind and rain. Rai is like future, and Ki is like the record or the journal or something like that. So it's like future travel journal or something like that. I don't really know what you translate to in English. But it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't really explain. It looks a bit weird, right?
Yeah, it looks very strange. I was looking through trailers and stuff and can't really figure out what it is. It's like
so I think what you do is basically, it's all video, right? So it's just a video of someone like driving around. But
I heard it's a 360 video, like from a VR.
Yeah, you know? Yeah.
So
like
you can like
tell, like
look around, I guess.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, right? But basically, yeah, you just saw a little clip then, like an anime character, like kind of superimposed on. So I think it has like a storyline, and you play as the character, whoever the character is, on the bike driving around Japan. But you get like a sat nav, and you can choose the route that you go. And you get I saw that you get like these like photo opportunities. So you can choose to use like your SLR camera, or like use your phone camera, just for like different like aesthetics. And then like you get all these like different like photo chants. So maybe there's like a train coming down the track, and you know, like there's like an opportune time to press the button. So if you take the shot when like the train is like in the middle of the frame or something, you maybe get like extra points. or something like that. I'm not really sure.
It's kind of like Pokemon Snap, but like real life.
Kind of, yeah. It sounds a bit like that. But I just thought the whole concept of the game was quite interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how in-depth the story is, I wonder if it's just like tacked on or if like the story like drives the experience.
Yeah, I'm really not that sure, to be honest.
It is the fourth one though, so it must have been successful enough to warrant, the next version of the game.
Yeah, so that's kind of the end of the trailer there. Have a little camp. And actually, no, that's not there. It keeps going.
Oh wow!
But this is actually number 4 in the series. So I think number 3, I checked out that the previous one was on the Vita, but I think it was a similar kind of game. So yeah, I'm not sure. I might pick it up, but it's quite expensive. It was like 6,000 yen.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
This is the kind of thing I would have to like try it out before. That's purchasing. Maybe we could both purchase a questionable game and then trade them. So we could experience it. Because this kind of thing, I could pay 3,000 for, but maybe not 6,000 yen.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's still cool.
As long as I get a few hours out of it.
Yeah. It's nice to see like not new genres, but just kind of outside of the ordinary stuff popping up in gaming.
That's it. I mean, it's all the kind of stuff I like. I just get bored of like the same old shooter and same old platformer coming out every time. So
yeah, and especially like if these kind of games are like really well done, they can be very fun.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So our final game of the week is the Kingdom Hearts PC release, which a little bit over a week now. But I think we just didn't have time to mention it last week.
Yeah.
Are you a big Kingdom Hearts fan?
I haven't actually played through a whole Kingdom Hearts before, but I tried the original Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. But really just kind of the beginning of them, because I played them on PS2. I wasn't like that familiar with Final Fantasy at the time when they first came out. And I also wasn't... I was a little bit too old to be like really into Disney, if that makes sense. I mean...
Yeah, of course.
So like I kind of just checked them out at a friend's house and I never got into it. But this is like a beloved series, right? Like people really love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And I heard that these remasters are really well done. Like they look great. They run really smooth. So the only thing holding me back from these is they're kind of expensive,
Yeah, and that's the thing. They do kind of retain their value, I guess.
And there's so many of them too. Like, and the names are really confusing. 2.8 final chapter prologue. Like, how could it be a final chapter and a prologue?
I thought that was like the same game. It's just like like when they released like 1.5 something, whatever. I thought that was just like number 1, but it had some extra content or something like that. But yeah, I'm actually not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But I do want to try the the series and get into it. And I thought that this most recent release would be a great point to jump in. Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts 3? I think that's fairly recent, right? Maybe last year.
I know it was hyped up for so long, and it was in development for like how many years? 10 years longer.
Yeah, well, because 1 and 2 came out kind of close to the same time, right? Like it was early 2000s. And they were both huge hits, but then it took 3 so long to come out.
Yeah.
And I heard some people loved 3 and then other people didn't like it, or I don't really know because I'm not that that into Kingdom Hearts, but I'd like to check it out. I mean, the visuals look really good.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really fun, and I'm always feel like these kind of like big, like kind of bombastic worlds, you know, like going through all the different, Disney worlds, especially like this Hercules one is pretty dope, you know, going through Greece.
Oh yeah,
seeing all the gods and stuff.
I think if you can just, enjoy experiencing the worlds, the different Disney universes, and maybe not put too much weight into the story. Although I don't know, some people love the story, but for me it was always really confusing.
I mean, I think like in order to make a story that fuses all of the Disney worlds together, it's obviously going to be a bit contrived, isn't it? Like it's never going to be like, it's going to be a bit shoehorned in to make it flow or make any kind of sense.
Yeah, there's a huge lore to it though. I mean, like people who know Kingdom Hearts, like I think there's all these side games and there's all these like different characters and things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to say the same, but maybe I'd check out 3 just because I always like the one with the best graphics.
Oh yeah, and it's new,
Yeah, so maybe like it doesn't feel as janky, maybe.
Yeah, the older ones are kind of they're really old platformers. It's like early 2000s, But anyhow, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the new releases, right?
Okay, yeah, so let's move on to the sales charts for the week. So this is the 21st to the 28th of March. Obviously, the biggest release last week was...
Oh, yeah, Monster Hunter, right?
Of course.
Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah, huge.
So, our main story last week, right, was Monster Hunter shutting down a company because all the employees wanted to play it so much. The boss just said... You know what? Let's just give it a 3-day weekend and
yeah, that's
just
funny.
Save people having to pretend to be sick. But yeah, that came in with 1.3 million copies. Pretty strong start.
Yeah,
as to be expected. It's one of the biggest franchises in Japan, I think. So absolutely no surprise there.
And what is this new title we have here? Is this a musical thing?
Let's go the quintessential quintuplets. Summer Memories also come in 5. That is the most convoluted, ridiculous Japanese title I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, so here's the video now. It looks like one of those like text-based kind of like interactive kind of manga situations.
Yeah, apparently this came from an anime.
Okay.
From last year or a couple years ago. So maybe that's why it's so popular. I don't know it. I have a feeling we're about to see some questionable anime babes.
Yeah.
So.
Man, I hate Japanese trailers. They're just so bad.
Yeah, let's see.
So budget. It's just like 2D graphics just scrolling across the screen. Yeah. I mean, that already tells me enough about the game that I know I don't want to play it. But apparently, it's doing okay in the charts. But I think it's crazy, isn't it? Because Monster Hunter comes out first week, it gets 1.3 million. Then in the same week, second place is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury that gets another 37,000. So just like a tiny fraction of what Monster Hunter got. But it's already racked up almost 600,000 copies, so not bad. And then in third place is 20,000 for this quintessential quintuplets game. So like, you've just got like first place. It just dominates everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Monster Hunter is probably bigger than all of these entries combined. I can't bother to do the math, but just a very quick addition, I can see that it definitely is higher than the entire chart.
Monster Hunters was huge already, and then it's also on the Switch, which is the most popular console in Japan. So, I think people who haven't experienced Monster Hunter, Switch owners maybe who don't have a PlayStation, this is their chance to check out the series.
I think so, yeah. And fourth place, we got Momotaro Densetsu, which again we talked about last week, right?
That's right.
And this still boggles my mind. Fifth place, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
It's hanging on. Yeah,
it's mental.
Well, That's just, if you buy a Switch, you also buy Mario Kart, right? I mean, it's like...
I think so, yeah. But I mean, is that even hanging on if it's in 5th place? Hanging on is like, it's like in 30th place, right? It's almost out of the charts.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I played this game on the Wii U when it first came out, and I mean, it's a great game, but I've had enough of Mario Kart 8. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
Me.
I think like when they make number 9, I don't even want Mario Kart 9 because I think the mechanics of Mario Kart 8 are perfect. I just want them to just say like, here's like 50 new courses and like maybe some new kind of like gimmick or whatever. But that's all I want. It plays perfectly and it looks amazing, you know?
Yeah, they'll need some kind of gimmick to make the next Mario Kart, you know? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
they made the remote control car one, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Mario Kart 9, who knows? Maybe they'll add like boats and airplanes, or you know, do the Diddy Kong Racing style stuff.
Oh, imagine that. That'd be so good.
Yeah,
I need
that
Diddy
would be
Kong
cool.
Racing 2. That'd be so good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of familiar faces in this charts here. We've got this quintessential Quintuplets game again. This is on PS4, only with half the sales on Switch. Another new one at 13, SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays Platinum Edition. That was a mouthful. That came in with 6,000. That's pretty weak. Weak performance.
Gundam.
Yeah, but
Getting kind of old. But,
yeah, I'm not a big Gundam fan. The same game again on PlayStation. This is the same case, though. Look, the Switch version got double the sales of the PS4 version. So,
yeah, that seems to be a trend. Yeah,
and
I would like to try Clubhouse games, because you know people joke about it, but it looks pretty fun. You know, it's just like card games and chess.
Oh yeah, like the 50 and 1, was that it? Something like that.
Yeah.
Clubhouse games.
And it looks really well made, and it's published by Nintendo, so. You know.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like classics, right? Like checkers and like blackjack, or I don't know, whatever they've got on there.
Anyhow, yeah, down there at the very bottom, only 2,400.
Yeah.
It beat out a Family Trainer. I don't think we need to. We probably don't.
Yeah, we don't need that. I think we're good. So yeah, let's move on to hardware sales. I mean, the Switch just murdering it again. In a week, it sold 190,000 units. But actually, no, 260,000 with the Switch Lite. 260,000, a quarter of a million in a week. It's mental. And so that would be putting it on 19 million combined, right? Switch and Switch Lite. If we're treating them as the same console, that's pretty heavy. It's almost on 20 million. And going at this current trend, that'd be like in the next few months, I'd imagine, yeah.
I've heard that the PlayStation 5 isn't really well stocked in Japan, so like the sales numbers, there's just not enough out there for them to sell.
It's the same in every country, yeah. It's never on the shelves in the shop. So since November, since it launched, and my situation was the same. I managed to get one on launch day, but I had to go through like a Chusen lottery system, where you basically just apply and they just choose, like, if they know that they're getting like 100 in stock, they'll just choose 100 random customers, and then they'll send you an email and say like, oh, you've managed to reserve one. And if you don't pick it up in like a week, then they just put it back into stock. But it's still under that situation, yeah. So that's definitely like really hindering the sales. But so far, it's hit 500,000 in Japan, which I don't think is too bad.
And when the Switch was new, it was also totally out of stock for like 6 months. I remember I wanted a Nintendo Switch, and I couldn't find one anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a few years ago.
Yeah, but, were you in Japan at that point?
Yeah, I was already in Japan when the Switch came out. I had just moved here.
Okay.
And I was, going everywhere to all these shops asking them if they had a Switch, and I couldn't find them. And the shops that did have them, they were marking them up like an extra like $50 or $100. So if you wanted one, you had to pay, high price for it.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have that issue in the UK. I mean, I pre-ordered mine as soon as they announced it was going on sale. I pre-ordered one anyway, so I got it day one. But I do remember a lot of the shops you could just walk into and get it.
Okay.
There wasn't tons of stock, but if you really wanted one, you could find one somewhere usually. But yeah, interesting, the sales there. obviously you've got almost 100,000 for the digital only edition. So actually almost 600,000, I guess, for PS5.
And you know what else is funny is that the new 2DS LL is outselling Xbox Series S and X.
Yeah, that is very funny.
So
I mean,
3DS still winning against Xbox.
Historically, Xbox has no foothold in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So I think like it would be expected that like the bulk of its sales would be at launch. I think any Japanese person who's going to buy an Xbox Series X has probably already done so, and from here on out, it's just only going to go down.
Oh
And
yeah.
It wouldn't even surprise me if half of those numbers were foreigners. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I always thought was like, maybe it's just, us, foreigners who already are part of the, Microsoft ecosystem that are just going out. And
I reckon like most of these are like they've been purchased and like they're currently on like US like bases. There's a lot of like military bases in Japan, right? Like US military bases.
Yeah.
And I reckon a lot of these sales come from those kinds of places.
Yeah.
Those kind of gamers. I mean, I don't know, like obviously as a generalization, but I'd imagine like probably with that kind of crowd, like the sports games and like kind of Call of Duty and that kind of stuff are quite popular. And those big kind of franchises have generally been better experience on Xbox, I'd say. So massive generalization, but I'd wager a fair bit of money on that.
Yeah, it seems likely to me.
Mm.
But anyhow, yeah, I guess that's the sales for the week.
Yeah, that wraps up sales for the week. So why don't we move on to our Japanese experiences? What have we been learning or playing? I'll let you start, Ryan, if you want to.
Yeah, so I just kind of listed it. It's more of like a kanji thing, but this kanji for it's like in Manhole. Let's see. It's just magic, right? And
Manhole.
And there's so many commonly used words, especially in JRPGs, that all use this kanji. Like we've got Mao is like the evil king or the demon king, and usually the main villain in JRPGs is called Mao.
Yeah.
And there's also Majo or Majo,
which is witch,
right?
Yeah,
Majo, which is witch, and Akuma is Akuma is demon. We've got Manhole is magic, and I believe this is Majutsu is black magic.
Yeah, Majutsu, yeah. That's quite a common one.
So they all look kind of similar because they all have that same kanji for magic.
Yeah.
So if you're into gaming in Japanese, you definitely want to learn this one. How about you?
Yeah, so my word for the week is chiwaki diku odoru, which is a really weird, long verb that I learned. I think this was also from Professor Layton, so the same game as my word from last week. But yeah, it just means to tingle with excitement, or to be excited, or to be thrilled, something like that. And I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know, one for like the kind of kanji that it uses, and just it's quite weird to say like chiwaki niku odoru, like just as a verb, right? A singular verb. It's quite long. I think the context was that there's like a riverside festival. Like one of the scenes is that like these people go missing at this festival, but like you talk to one of the people, trying to interrogate them, and they describe the atmosphere of this festival as chiwaki niku odoru, saying that it's full of life, right?
Okay, dancing with life or something like that.
Yeah, right. So I thought it was kind of funny because, firstly, like you've got actually, I just realized that's the wrong kanji. This is the kanji it should be. The wa is wrong, but you see it comes up here with a different wa.
This is welling up with.
Yeah, but chi and then waki, like, so chi is like blood.
Yeah.
Chi is blood's chi, and literally the word for blood is chi, but waki is like boil. So it's like your blood is boiling, and niku means meat. and odoru is to dance. So like, I guess meat might refer to like your body in this instance. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it means like, dancing meat. Kind of stupid, right? But your blood is, you're so excited, your blood is boiling and your body is like dancing.
Heart pounding with excitement, kind of.
Yeah, that's it, right? So
something like that, maybe.
It's like a real buzz of excitement. I just thought that was a really kind of funny word. I think, waku, this word, it just means to...
This is the kind of stuff that's a little bit cryptic, hard to figure out on your own. Like when I'm reading and I see something like this, I just think, I'll just skip over that.
Yeah, these ones I really enjoy though, because they just have such weird meanings. So like, waku can mean to get excited. I'm sure you've seen lots of games called like waku waku something, right? In Japanese.
Yeah, to be excited, right? Oh, it's the same kanji, huh?
Yeah, that's usually written with like katakana waku waku.
Oh, yeah.
So getting nervous, excited. So you usually see like a waku waku like party game or something like that.
I might not try it out in a conversation though.
Yeah, next time you're at like a banging party and someone says, is it a good party? Like, yeah, man, just chiwaku niko doru. You probably sound like the kind of like, if like an English person quotes Shakespeare. The party. That's how lame you would sound.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, so I probably don't advise doing that one.
But anyway, that's a nice one.
Yeah, so always on the scope for those kind of weird Japanese words. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps us up for the show this week. It's been a good one. Covered lots of news, lots of interesting stuff happening in Japan, as always. Yeah, guys, so... yeah, thanks for listening to episode 2 of the Kantan Gamer Cast. Make sure that you're subscribed for a new episode every week. And we'll also be publishing this as the audio version very, very soon. So check out your favorite podcast platforms for that. Thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, and we'll see you same time next week for more Kantan Gamer Cast.